I have a similar story related to heart attacks.
Okay.
So when I was an executive in a publicly traded company, the board of directors 1 year early 2000s, decided they wanted all the top 5, named executive officers to go to this executive physical every year, and that they would pay for it. So we went. It was an all-day physical, Todd. It was great. I loved it. They picked you apart and treadmill test and cognitive, and loved it. Mm. About the second year I went, this doctor, who was is a nationally renowned longevity doctor. I don't think this guy's ever eaten a Snickers bar in his life. He lives it, looks 30 years younger than he is. I get all these tests done, and I'm in the wrap up with him, and he looks at me deadly serious. Now I'm still fairly young. I'm really fit, exercise. And he looks at me dead serious across the desk and says, "If you listen to me and do everything I advise you to do, we can reduce your risk of heart attack by 50%. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, well, that implies to me that I'm at risk.
Yeah.
He said, you need to do this and do that. And I had the presence of mind after a few minutes to say, doctor, can you answer me a question here? What is my risk of having a heart attack right now? And he said, 1.6% chance of having a heart attack or a heart-related event over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm all about optimizing here. But, the way you addressed it, I thought I was at like 80% clogged. I mean, Mike, you're ready to drop over right now, So it made me chuckle because I had a similar. And so I learned with that guy, because he's all about optimization. I learned to ask him very specific, detail-focused questions in the future. Because I'll tell you, for a brief few minutes, my life was flashing in front of me. I'm like, I think I've done most things right. I'm getting ready to keel over.
So you know what that's like to be on the receiving end of that. But that's a big point for leaders too, right? It's like you can have technical proficiency, but what's your bedside manner, right? Yeah. Are you putting people, even like, let's say your numbers weren't great for you the last quarter, fiscally for your company. Is it doom and gloom, or do you paint a picture of, hope and optimism? And hey, we're going to ride out the storm. Here's why it went down, but here's what we could do to bounce back. So it's like, how do you frame the situation? And part of being a leader is building hope and optimism in your people, even in the toughest of times, and helping people to navigate the tough times. And so if you're just stuck on the numbers, you're losing an opportunity to say, hey, what does success look like? How do you measure success? What's on our dashboard? Peter Drucker said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, but you also need to lead it as well. So you can't just manage by statistics. You need to interpret those statistics, interpret for your people, what is the story it's telling, and how do we create a better story, because the future is unwritten, right? So a lot of it is how we frame things.